Hey guys, welcome back to this beautiful channel. It is me, the Chainsaw Maniac, and today I'm here to get you drawing those backgrounds fast, efficient, and making them look just pretty decent and good, for the overall comic that you're going for, and not really dwell or waste time on background. You don't want to sit like 3 hours in the background. You want to get it out there because you want to keep to your schedule, whatever it may be. Maybe you do a webcomic like every week, so you don't really want to sit too much. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to establish your background. You want to know exactly where the scene is taking place and what exactly is going to be in the scene. So let's say this we have two characters here on screen. Let's say it takes place in a castle. Okay, it takes place in a castle because I was kind of just drawing a castle now earlier. So let's say it takes place in a castle, right? And here's a box. We have a box here. Okay, we have our box, and on this side we have a table. Just get a table in here. We have a little table. We have some legs for the table. No, we have little legs for the table, and yeah, okay. And then we have this box over here. A box. Okay. So I'm just trying to make things simple, and we have a window. Let's put a window here in the center, right? Let's put a window in the center just to make things a bit more. Okay, a little windowsill. Okay, and we have a little bit of a yeah, nice little sun there. Okay, whatever. Okay, so we have our background. Okay, we have our characters. So you want to take note of exactly where everything is in the scene. Because maybe you want to do a close-up, right? You want to do a close-up on a character, you go in with the character, you want to do a close-up, right? So depending on the character, let's say this is character 2. This is character 2, a close-up of the character. Here's his face, his nice little brown head. We have his little neck, and we have his body right here. Okay. So the best thing I would say to do is maybe in your mind you could map this out in 3D, you know, kind of figure out exactly what's going on here. You can map out exactly where things are going, but I'm gonna keep things simple for you guys so you can like see exactly what's going on. So this guy is standing here now. You take note number 2. This guy number 2, the second guy, he's kind of standing next to this windowsill, so you kind of have to you also have to take note of the distance in which he's standing from the windowsill, the distance he's standing from the box, and you have to do the same for this character over here. How far is this character standing from him? So, okay, so now we can establish exactly the positions of where these characters are. And what you want to do is, okay, right now you probably don't even need, because you see the distance here isn't really a big problem. You don't even need to write in this box. You don't even need to draw in this box over here because it's a bit further away from the character. So you can just basically have established. You can just kind of map out the wall here. Let's say there's bricks in the wall because we're in a castle, right? So you can basically just focus more on the bricked wall. But also, you don't have to draw this. You don't have to redraw this wall. I would say if you really went through all the details in this panel over here, you drew a wall, you drew all the bricks and everything. What you can do is, you take this, you copy it. Yeah, there we go. You just duplicate that wall, you know, and you just shove this wall. All right. Yeah, I'm moving everything. Is that the wall? That's the wall. So you can just basically move this wall over here into the second panel, resize it, resize it, and you kind of have your background there. Obviously, it looks like it's kind of over this guy because I didn't color him in or anything. Let me just make this a bit easier for you guys. Let me make it a bit easier for you guys. Here we have your guy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We have your guy here. Let me just color him in blue so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about over here. And bam, 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 wham, bam. That's our guy right there. That's the outline of our guy. There's his face. Let's make him give him a little smiley face right there. There we go. He's a little he's a little happy guy. He's a little happy guy. So then you see what I did is, can you see it? So there's the background. There's the wall. Here's the wall that we drew over here. Okay, the wall. Let me just go in blue here. So now we have the wall behind him. We didn't redraw anything. We didn't have to recolor everything. We didn't have to do anything. The wall is just there now. You see, we just duplicated the wall, and there it is. Okay, the wall is right here behind him. It saves us more time, you see. So now we, instead of focusing on the background for this character, yeah, and you can even do this with characters. You don't even have to do this with just the background. You can copy. You can basically do this. You can do this if you're gonna have a maybe a close up of the character. You can even duplicate this thing over here. You know, duplicate the character, free transform. It doesn't work all the time, but if you need to save time, you can duplicate. Bam, there's your character right there. There, you didn't have to establish shit, okay? All you gotta do is set up your panel. You just gotta set up your panel, and there you go. Didn't have to redraw much, okay? Maybe you want to change his facial expressions. That's cool. You can go in, you can change his facial expressions, make him look pretty devious over here. I mean, you can just, and then let's say if this was his facial expression at first, okay? So we just duplicated and copied it over here, okay? Duplicated and copied it over here. We got his facial expression. That's cool. We have his facial expression over here. But let's say we wanted to change his facial expression. You just go in, you know, change it up, you know, edit it a bit. And there he goes. He's looking the other way. You see? And there we go. Pretty simple. Everything, the background's all in place. We didn't have to move anything. We didn't have to do much. We save ourselves a bit more time. So also maybe what you want to do is, let me go with red again. What you want to do is, sometimes it's best to also map out a scene in 3D. If you're good at perspective, you could do this just, you know, on a piece of paper, or you could just do it from a top view. The top view is always the simplest. So this is the wall here. We have the window. You can do it from a top view, like a, you know, like a building plan type thing. Okay, the characters were over here. This is character number 1. And character number 2 is over here. Okay, there they're standing, and here's the box. We have the box. See, it's always, the box was a bit forward. It's okay, cool. Box was over here. Table, there's a table. Table's a bit over here. You can say it's here in the back, okay? Table, right there. Putting a T for table, B for box, okay? And W for window. So here's the window. We have the table right here. And we have the box. So now we know exactly where every object is in the scene. So you could, I mean, you can completely just freaking, you know, do a 180, which I don't recommend doing 180s in comics. Just keeping your characters on one side or the other would make it more consistent. Your readers wouldn't have to, you know, completely flip their minds to read your scenes, and it kind of just takes them out of the feeling. And this is, by the way, this is just not advice for you. This advice isn't just for you, it's for me as well. I'm kind of learning as I'm going along. So we're learning together. So let's say now we want to, flip it. Let's say we wanted a view from the window. Okay, let's say they managed to walk. They walked closer. Let's say something happened by the window. Okay, they noticed something through the window, and now we want to draw the perspective from the window. You see? Depending on how big the window is, of course, you can, yeah, draw the window. Them looking out, there's the guy's face. There he is, through the window. This is number 2, because remember, number 2 was on this side. And we have number 1 now on this side. See what I'm saying? And now, you see this kind of tapers, this view. This view kind of does this. Kind of does this from the window. So you see now we get that bit of box in here at the back. But character 2 is blocking this view over here. So maybe you might not get the box, but you could draw the box in here. I mean, you could do that. Tape is away. And now you can even plan out this side. You say, okay, maybe there was a door here. There was a door. Here's the door. And the door is open. Okay, door is open. So now you can even throw in a door. Throw in an open door. There's the open door. And yeah, I mean, there you go. I mean, maybe you want to put a bit of torches on the wall. There's a torch. Torch over here. It's a bit too high, but you know what I'm saying. Torch. You can even get in the ceiling a bit from this view. So, you know, you just kind of plan it out like this. You keep things consistent. Your readers don't have to really guess exactly where things are, what exactly is going on. Because let's say, for example, we had a bit of an action scene, okay? We had a bit of an action scene. We got a bit of a weird ass view, okay? So we're gonna do that. We got a little we got a weird view, okay? And I'm gonna go into a bit of perspective stuff here. Okay, so let's say the first guy over here, first guy in the scene, decided to grab this guy and let's see, grab him and try to toss him out of the window. Okay, let's do that. That's the scene. Okay. Okay, I'm not gonna draw anything leading up to the scene. I'm just gonna draw the finality of where we want it to be. So okay, so we're gonna draw it from. I think we're gonna draw it from the camera being on this side. The camera is gonna be here, and then it's gonna do it from this side. So we're gonna get it from the second guy's perspective. The first guy's throwing him out of the window. Okay, going on here right now. So the table was over here, close to the wall. The wall is kind of at an extreme slant because of the view. So you're not really gonna see this wall over here. So the table, here we go. There's a table. We have a table. Oh shit. Wait. Okay. We have a table. And there it is. This green table over here. We have a green table. Cool. Now, also, when you were in the 3D view, you establish now exactly what's on this side, what's in the side. The camera is now coming in from the side over here. It's coming in from here. So now, you're going to see what's on this wall over here. There was a table, but now what else is on this wall? Maybe we add a painting of a man cheering or whatever. Whatever was there. There's weird stickman painting. Woo! There he is. He's just yelling out. Okay, so now we have a table, and now we've established there's a painting as well on this side of the wall. Of course, through the interactions of their speech while they're talking, I would also recommend, even though you're keeping them to the right or the left, and like keeping one character, like character 1 stays to the left, so you will always be on the left side. And character 2 will always be on the right side. You keep this consistency throughout your panels, and you know you don't confuse the reader. And so always rotating, maybe not rotating the camera, but always angling it in a certain way so you can establish a little bit of the background every time. So yeah, so now you see exactly the table is over here. So now the reader knows, oh, okay, the camera has been flipped. It's been flipped all the way to the side. I wouldn't recommend just randomly flipping the camera though. You kind of, maybe in an action sequence or in the fight, it works. But like not while doing dialogue or stuff like that. You will just kind of confuse the readers and they won't exactly know what the hell's going on. And so, and yeah, so so this is just minding the spacing as well, which is another thing you gotta look at. As I mentioned here, you gotta really mind the spacing. How big does this guy? How big of a leap does this guy have to make to get to this guy? How far is this box from this guy? How far is the table from this guy? Where is it situated? It's best to usually do this in a 3D view. You could do the top view like I did. You know, you could do like a top view like this, and you could actually So the characters is here, he's holding him, they're holding each other. This is 1, this is 2. The camera is over here, so we're getting a little bit of that thing roughly. The wall is over here where the window is, maybe a bit closer, maybe a bit over here. Yeah, you're not gonna get the wall in from this angle because the camera's kind of like, you could maybe, I would just suggest not complicating it too much, just kind of establish exactly what's going on. So we have the table here in the back, we have the table, we have a picture frame, we have a picture frame here, and then the box was somewhere over here somewhere, right? So something like this. So you just mind the distance. You just gotta mind. We had another thing on this side. We had the door. We had the torches. Okay, so you just have to mind this, and also mind. I'm just kind of doing this to illustrate exactly where things are. But the room was obviously like a lot bigger than this. So also mind the size of the room. You don't really want to make the room look too small, and then in the next scene make it look very big. So you just kind of gotta figure out exactly where everything is. The best, I would say the best option if you're doing a scene, I'm gonna open up Blender. Blender is a free software that you guys can use to establish exactly where everything is in 3D space. And what you can do is, I'm gonna make a cube here. You can look up tutorials on how to use Blender. But I'm just gonna make a little plane. This is a plane. This is where the characters are gonna be, right? Let's establish the walls. Okay, wait. Okay, so where was that? That wall was up here. We had a wall up here, right? There's a wall, and then we have another wall up here. I'm just gonna do this quick. Bam, bam. There we go. We got walls. We got walls, guys. We got walls. Nice. We have walls. I didn't really establish anything for this side. It's just gonna be an empty wall, let's say, just to make things easier for you guys. And what this thing comes with as well is a built-in armature that is that you can kind of figure out. Okay, so you see how big the room is now. This is kind of the human model, how big the human is. And you can even do precise measurements if you want. For instance, a room is usually about 3 meters tall. So you can kind of go to the measuring tool and measure your segment over here. See, this thing is like 12 meters. You don't want that. Let's go for 3 meters. 3 meters. Pop. Done. I mean, you can check out measuring sizes on Google. It's like not a problem. This is just kind of the planning phase of everything. So you don't want to go crazy with this. You just want to establish exactly where your characters are. The details of the room and everything you can do in 2D. You don't need to do everything in 3D. You could, but it will take up a lot of time. So maybe if you had a giant buffer, you could do that, but you don't really want to do that. So maybe this room doesn't look like a castle room. Doesn't look like a castle room would be this. Let's do it this way. And this room is fine. It's like a storage room in the castle or whatever. So we have, bam. Let's make it 4 meters. You can go for a 4-meter room in a castle. I mean, depending on how big you want your room. Okay, there's the ceiling. We have a ceiling. We have a ceiling here. And what you want to do is now we're gonna add a little bit of a window. A little bit of a window. There we go. Bam. Looks, I don't know. I don't usually go for specific measurements for how tall the window should be, but you could do that just to make it more accurate. But at the same time, the people reading the comic won't really notice or won't really pay attention to that much of the details. So you could really get away with a lot. Maybe you want a pointy window. Let's make the window pointy on top here. You want a little windowsill. Okay, cool. Little windowsill. You could also build yourself an asset library, so you don't have to build everything every time. You could build yourself an asset library so that you can just drop 3D assets in there. The best place to get 3D assets for Blender, I would say, well, not for just Blender, but for any 3D program you're using that basically handles 3D animation and stuff like that, would be I get my assets from BlendSwap and Sketchfab. I mean, those are free. They are free assets on there. You guys can check it out. But you could even like just model basic, you know. Of course, it takes time to learn the program and stuff like that. But I mean, just kind of figure out the basics. You could get away with some stuff, you know. We have a little bit of a table. We have our table. You could measure the size of it or anything, but I mean, like I said, the reader won't really pay attention to the exact size and everything. So you can kind of just eyeball it. Should be the same height as the windowsill, maybe around here. And we have our box. And also, if you go to, there's a different type of mode. Also, you can use the benchmark mode. So now it color codes everything. So everything that's a separate object will be color coded in different colors. There's a lot of crazy things you can do in Blender as well. If you don't want to really draw the characters out or anything, you could actually model a 3D character with a stylized texture, and it kind of looks like it's hand drawn, and you could do those types of things. But if you have time, it's just easier just to draw the characters out in general. Just drawing the backgrounds out as well. So here we have our painting. We have our guys here. Yeah, we have our guys here, and you can add a camera. You can add a camera as well. We have our camera here. There we go. There they are. And now you can kind of, you see the wall kind of does come in. So now it's better to actually do it in an actual 3D space. So now you kind of get that crazy view. This crazy view here. So now we get that picture in. We get that table in right here. You see that? And you could even add, if you really want to do some crazy stuff, you can go to the focal length and you can shorten it a bit. And what this does is it makes it like a fisheye type lens thing. You know, you could mess around with that. And you can go to like foreshortening and stuff like that. You can get some crazy foreshortening effects with this. And yeah, I mean, all your work is basically done. You don't really have to do much now. You have your positions, you have your tables. I mean, now all you have to do is basically, you can just basically take a screenshot of this. I mean, you don't have to render out. You can just basically take a screenshot. Bam, you have everything done. Okay, save to wherever, your desktop. And now we have our image. Bam, toss it in here. There we have our scene of the guy trying to throw the other guy out of the window. And yeah, and that's about, I mean, you can even like you can even pose the armature. I mean, if you really go into pose mode, and you can pose the armature for whatever pose you want, and you can kind of get that. But it doesn't really work with just the armature. You need actually a solid structure to kind of figure out exactly where the body is. And yeah, so you can basically get an actual 3D model for that. There's plenty of basic models you can use. I just kind of like use it to kind of figure out the background. Here's a background, there's a wall. See, I didn't see that before. There's a wall. We're just gonna get in the background. I'm not gonna worry about the characters. I'll do a completely different video for perspective for characters if you guys wanna if you guys want me to do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna focus more on the backgrounds here. Tables over here. We have our painting. We have our characters. Can draw them. There we go. Let's use blue so I don't confuse you guys exactly. Let's make a brush bigger. Here's the character right here. This is the one character here. It's kind of, yeah, this is before they kind of threw him out the window. He's just kind of ready. He's ready. He's ready for things to happen. And then we have the other guy over here. You see that you can't really grab him from this angle because of the distance, you see. I didn't mind the distance. I was making an example, but you see. So he's all the way over here. Obviously, you can't grab him from this side, you know. He's just kind of here. So it's good to establish the distance of exactly what's going on. You see now you can mind the distance. You see exactly how far the table is. You see exactly where everything is. I mean, there's a ceiling, the ceiling here, floor. I mean, you You can do a lot of things with this now. Now, when it comes to drawing, gonna add maybe bricks to the walls. You just follow the lines. You follow the lines exactly. They're gonna follow obviously these lines over here. They're gonna follow these lines over here. And this one over here. So now when you draw your bricks, you have your perspective, you have your objects, you know exactly where everything is. You don't have to guess. It makes things easier for you, saves a lot of time. And yeah, so now you can even go back in Blender. You always keep Blender open, okay? Keep it open. Or your 3D program, whatever you want to use, it's not a problem. You can now even change the perspective. You want it to be an upshot. You want it to be an upshot? There you go. Upshot. You just bam. Upshot done. Okay. Screen grab. Bam. Done. And to be honest, I haven't been actually using this technique. I just thought of it now. So yeah, a lot of planning for me now as well. I'm actually learning with you guys right now. So bam. Done. Upshot. There we go. Upshot. Pretty badass. Upshot. There we go. And yeah. Now we have, now this is what I'm talking about. So now the scene is completely flipped. It is done a complete 180. Which is fine for action shots, but do not do it during dialogue shots. Don't do that. So now the scene is completely flipped around. The green guy is now over here. This is where the green guy is. Oh, let me just get this up here. This is where the green guy is. He's over here now. He's over here. There's his body. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. And his body obviously tapers out because it's from the bottom. So, okay. Don't want to worry about perspective now. This guy's arm. Bam. There's his arms. Now we go for the blue guy. Yeah, he is. This is where he is now. He's kind of on this side. His leg tapers out. Bam, 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 bam. Bam. There's his arm. He's standing here, waiting for this guy. There we go. We have our background as well. We have our background here. And now you can exactly flesh out. Okay, here's the ceiling. We have the window. We have the windowsill right here. We have it right here. No planning, no nothing. We have everything. The table is over here. We know the table's over here, but we can't see it, so we don't care. Okay, so we have the ceiling done. Wall. You can now draw your bricks or whatever you want to draw. You can follow the lines. It has now become more simple. We had outside the window, we had a mountain. Bam. We had a sun. Bam. We had a cloud. Bam. Done. Scene done. Okay. No thinking, no planning really. We just kind of mapped it out in 3D. And I feel like 3D is really the simplest way to figure out exactly where everything is. It's much easier. You see what I mean? Like, my scene's open. I can just do whatever I want. I can go from anywhere. I can really go wherever I want right now. And it's pretty simple. And I screenshot it. And it's in there. Done. Establish my shot. Establish my scene. Now, you could do it in 2D, like I showed you, with the top view. And kind of figure everything out. But 3D really makes things easier, you know. I mean, if your brain works well, like with this, I usually use 3D for my shots as well. Sometimes I can do 2D. I mean, you could also you could go on the internet, type in poses, certain upshots or whatever, and you could just, you know, work your upshots and all your other shots from a specific reference that you're using. So, yeah, so that's that. I mean, you could do the 2D thing, like here's the guy. Where was the guy? We had the guy over here. We had the blue guy over here. We had the table over here. We had the box over here. We had the painting over here. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. There we go. There's the door. We have a door over here. You know, we had torches. There's nothing on this wall. Bam, you've established your shot, the camera over here. Okay, let me just color this in a different color so you don't confuse you guys. There we go. Table. Color the props in yellow. So you know exactly where everything is. Kind of looks like a smarty diagram, but that's cool. It looks like a smile. It looks like a smile. I just had a smile. It's a little guy. Okay. enough of that. Okay, so camera coming from this angle. We know exactly how far the table is from this guy. We know exactly the distance of these guys. I can't stress this enough. It's that simple, okay, guys? So, guys, this trick actually helps me a lot, especially if you have Photoshop. You can just basically, let's say, but it works mostly good with generic background. So let's say your scene takes place in a forest, just a ordinary forest, wherever it is. Takes place in a forest. Depending on your angle that you want, maybe you want this angle. Okay, this looks good. Okay, we take that. We have it. We have it now. Let's add it. Let's add it to our file. Reference practice. Damn. Okay. So now we have our file that we downloaded from the interwebs, and now we put it down here. There's a shot. Bam. Now it might not work well with your art style, but that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Depending on your art style, I mean, okay. Depending on your art style, I mean, you could just basically, you know, bam, just to some opacity thing. You could just lower the opacity. You don't have to draw all the trees. You can just draw one tree, maybe. Bam, here's a tree. Maybe you want to add your own little branches to it and whatever. Bam, tree. And then what you do is you just, well, actually, you can. I always prefer drawing 3 different trees. So let's draw this one. Bam, there's another tree. Maybe draw a little tree. Bam, 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 bam. 3. And then what I do is I duplicate them. Bam. And duplicate them and move them. And then duplicate, move, and rotate. Rotate them, flip them horizontally. Bam. Now it's a different tree. Put it over here. No one's gonna notice. No one's gonna notice. It's over there. Okay? Done. Now you just have to just duplicate a bunch of it and throw it wherever you need, wherever you want it to be. You can draw your own path. Obviously, you can draw the path yourself. Bam. You have your reference. Everything has now become easy for you. You know exactly your perspective. You know exactly where things are going to be. You can draw this pile of logs if you choose so. Or you can even put in a house here. You know the perspective. You can throw in whatever you want, guys. You can throw in whatever you want. And that also helps. Or, and this is my favorite. This is usually the step I use when I am when I really don't feel like drawing backgrounds. And it's a very generic background. Like it's just a forest. It's not really the forest that I drew in my comic, where it's like a burning forest and all that stuff. Shove a filter on. Look at that. Bam. Photoshop filter. Bam, on there. You can mess around with the settings. Maybe you don't want it to be a bit more. You want it to be, there we go. You know, mess around with the settings. I always use the cutout and stroke filter. So now, bam, done. And you can mess it. You can look at it. Look at that. Look at that. You can mess around with different settings in the filter on Photoshop, and you can kind of get all these different things, right? Now we have our scene, and now we just, you know, draw your character. Here's your character. Damn, damn, damn. Now you can focus more on drawing your characters, making them look good. Bam, here's another character. Make her look nice. There's the hair. Damn, 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 damn. And there they're standing in the middle of the forest. There you have your characters, you have your background. I mean, look how simple that was. It took me like, what, 2 seconds? 2 seconds, 2 minutes? Not 2 minutes, maybe like 30 seconds. I mean, come on, like 30 seconds. Like, so now you can focus more on your characters, the emotions, and the story, rather than drawing 1,000 backgrounds. And there you go. Done. It's done, son. Now, like I said, this only works for generic backgrounds. So if it's just a generic forest, a generic town, a generic this, generic that, it works good for generic stuff. But let's say you don't have generic stuff, okay? Let's say you want to make your own little background because you want to be fancy. You want to be fancy, okay? Not a problem. You want to be fancy. It's cool. I have a little something for you guys. And you can download this. I can't remember the website I used. This is the website I use. Brush Easy. Brush Easy. This is for Photoshop. I don't know about finding other brushes for other programs, but I mainly use Photoshop. Some of them you pay for, but I got the free ones. And look at that. Look, I didn't have to paint all the chains. They just have a chain brush. I can just paint chains. They have all this type of things. They even have an architecture brush. If you don't feel like drawing backgrounds, not a problem. I got you covered, G. Don't worry. We have a little... Look at that. Bam. I drew a house. I just drew a house in, what, a second. Like, look at this. Look at this. Maybe I want a different house. Bam. Done. See? Now it's simple. Now you just got to figure out... Oh, okay. You know what? I want to maybe just do... So obviously this only works with a perspective that you're going for. So let's say you go bam. This is the background, okay? This is the panel. And now you want to paint a little town there in the background. So this is the scene right here. And here we go. You want a little town in the background? Not a problem at all. There you go. Bam. Here's the house. You can change it up. You can change it up with maybe something else. There you go. Bam. It's another house. I would normally just keep these on separate layers because let's say they're overlapping. You just gotta paint that out. You just gotta erase it. Bam, 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 and it's doing that. Doing that. So you guys get the idea. You guys get the idea. And now they're in a town. In a town. I'm just giving you guys an example. Don't worry. This isn't what I usually do. I usually do this more professionally. But let's say there's a town. We just painted a bunch of houses in like 2 seconds. Bam, done. Obviously, you have to just go in and, you know, you might want to paint out the overlapping stuff. But I mean, it's pretty simple. You didn't have to paint the entire or draw entire house. I mean, there you got your background. I mean, I got even like, let's say you wanted to draw a sky. Let's do that. Let's draw a sky. Let's draw a sky for you guys. Okay. It's going bam, bam, blue, bam. There you go. Now you don't even have to think. You don't have to do your needless thinking. Bam. There we go. Nice clouds. Bam. Clouds. Bam. So works for smoke as well. Look at that. Look at that sky. Look at that sky. Look at it. Amazing. You see there is some overlapping though. So what I usually do is I just grab a color from here. So now you're just kind of softening certain parts of it. So it's not like hard or whatever. The readers aren't going to notice that much because they're just going to be scrolling through your panels. So, I mean, just little touches, like little touch-ups here and there. And, yeah. I mean, that's basically it, guys. So, the tools I would recommend, I mean, obviously, Photoshop just makes things easier for me. I don't know what type of programs you guys use. Clip Studio Paint, I'm pretty sure they have 3D assets in there, from what I've heard. They have 3D assets in there. They have and they have 3D props as well. So I mean that should make things easier. Like I said, Blender is free for you guys. So for those of you who don't really want to buy any software, you can use Blender as well. It's free. You can do whatever you want in there. Screenshot, shove it in there. You have your reference. Everything done. You know, it's pretty simple. You know, I hope this video helped you guys. I kind of went off the rails for a few minutes there, here and there. But, you know, I hope some of this information at least helped you guys. I mean, it helped me. Honestly, I didn't know most of the stuff. I just kind of thought of it now as I went along. So I kind of learned from it. I hope you guys learned from it. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, you know what to do. Just punch that thumbs up in the face. And let me know what you guys thought of this video. If you want more videos like this, me helping you along, because I actually learn a lot while I make these videos. So the next video I might do some perspective things, like help you guys more on perspective and help myself more on perspective, because personally I think I need it. So yeah, I'm kind of just growing as an artist as well. And if you guys haven't checked out my webcomic yet, The Merchant of Ignatius, go ahead and check it out. All the links to everything is down below in the description. Whatever you need, it's down there. And you guys can even check me out on Patreon if you guys want more exclusive content and you want to get webcomic episodes earlier. Be sure to go there. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.